Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. I'm Rob Bentley, Associate Athletic Director here at Ferris State, and the voice of the Bulldogs, and honored to be with you here tonight as we celebrate an outstanding class of Hall of Fame inductees. This class was voted in back in 2020 before, obviously, COVID hit us, and this banquet is long overdue, so we're thankful you're all here with us here tonight. The Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame, which inducted its charter class in 2000, was established to honor those student athletes and coaches who have distinguished themselves in their sport or honorary members who have made truly exceptional contributions to athletics. This class was selected by a 13-member selection committee comprised of faculty, staff, alumni, and community members from a large group of nominees. Tonight, this group will join a past list of Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame honorees that includes 108 previous inductees along with one championship team. To get started tonight, let's meet our inductees. We'll ask that they come up and stand in front of us so we can get a quick group photo, and then we'll continue on with the rest of the program. First up, our Special Service Award recipient, Karma Burcham. And our inductees in alphabetical order starting with Jeff Blashill. Next up, Lucy DeMartin Pryor. Danny Hayes. Tiana Kirkland. Brad Morris. Representing the late Gideon Smith, his grandson John Belcher. And finally, Jason Vanderlaan. Congratulations and another big round of applause for this outstanding group of Hall of Fame inductees. On a personal note, I'm thrilled to help honor this particular class here tonight. Having been here at Ferris State for now 24 years, in some form or another, I really feel like I've gotten to know each of these inductees. Tiana Kirkland was a member of the women's basketball team when I first arrived here in the fall of 2000, tearing it up on the hardwood for the Bulldogs, and later in track and field. Lucy DeMartin followed soon after, and I was fortunate enough to follow her throughout her 4-year career here as a Bulldog. Brad Morris, of course, I was not here when we had wrestling back in the 90s, but I've gotten to know him through a few phone conversations as of late, and I've helped research the history of Ferris State wrestling, so I've really got to know what his accomplishments were all about here as a Bulldog. I am old, but not quite that old. I was not here when Gideon Smith was here in 1910, but I am keenly aware of what he meant to this university and to the college football in the state of Michigan through the outstanding research of my colleague Franklin Hughes, who is over here, along with Big Rapids native Tom Shanahan, who wrote a book called The Ray of Light that detailed some of Gideon Smith's past. Danny Hayes, when you've been around Ferris State basketball as long as I have, you hear stories of the legends of the past. Danny Hayes is a name that always comes up. Some great stories that continue to be told to this day of one of the greatest basketball players in Bulldog history. Our Special Service Award recipient, Karma Burcham, I'm so thankful that I had a chance to work with her here at Ferris State for more than a decade. I worked closely with her promoting our student athletes for awards and honors, and she was first class in everything she did, and certainly a big reason why so many thousands of Ferris State student athletes earn their degrees here as a Bulldog. Jeff Blashill was an assistant coach when I arrived here at Ferris State, and we've maintained a good relationship over the years, both from the hockey golf outing where I've helped interview him and coordinate some of the media interviews in the past, along with some summer golf outings, and I'm sure he'll tell you I'm not a very good golfer, and I do want to say that we have an annual event, and I believe I am a two-time Green Jacket winner, which in an event that's more prestigious than the Masters. So his brother-in-law, Steve, also a two-time winner, and even Tim, his brother, who's the real athlete in the family, has won it once. But we're certainly honored to have Jeff here tonight, and he's an individual that has meant so much for Ferris State University and Bulldog hockey. And finally, Jason Vanderlaan was blessed to call every game of his collegiate career as the greatest rushing quarterback in college football history. And I do mean every game. He never missed a game throughout his entire 4 years here as a Bulldog. Most importantly, he was a tremendous individual that I had a great relationship with off the field. Probably asked him to do more interviews over the course of his career than any other student athlete in Ferris State history, and he was always gracious enough to do each and every one. So great athlete and an outstanding student, two-time National Scholar Athlete of the Year. At this time, I'd like to introduce and welcome our athletic director, Steve Brocklebank.
Welcome, everybody. Great to be here. Great to see everyone. Special welcome to our inductees, to their families, to their friends, to their representatives, and of course, to their teammates. I know we had a lot of teammates that came here today to join the inductees on this, what is a really special day. Also pretty neat for me, I had an opportunity to, well, I know all three of these gentlemen, but to get a picture with my three predecessors. So Perk and Dean and Tom were here, and so, but hearing some of the stories, I had an opportunity to sit with Jeff and some of his teammates before we came over here this evening, and understand why you guys are retired now, and makes a lot of sense. But no, we really are. We're here to recognize the achievements and the accomplishments of 8 wonderful individuals who clearly left their mark on this institution and on this athletic department. There's a verse I heard in a country music song that I wanted to share with you that I think it really applies to this evening. And it says something to the effect of, it's not what you take with you when you go, it's what you leave behind. And clearly, these 8 individuals left something pretty special behind. And that's why we're gathered here tonight, to recognize and honor that impact that they had upon this university. And that impact will last a lifetime, and that's why they're going to be in our Hall of Fame. And so we're deeply appreciative of what you've done for Ferris State and for Ferris State athletics. So I just want to congratulate all of our inductees and their representatives. And on behalf of Ferris State Athletics, we want to congratulate you, and we hope this is a special evening, one that will be memorable, one in which you enjoy, and we want you to have a ton of fun. So again, welcome back to Ferris State University, welcome back to campus, welcome back to Big Rapids, and thank you for all you've done for us and for Ferris State. I almost stepped away, and I don't want to do this. I do want to recognize the people that helped make this event a reality. So Brandy Barenwald from our alumni office. I don't know if Brandy's here, but I am going to embarrass you a little bit. So Brandy worked really hard to make this event special. Cedric Frierson. Cedric from the athletic department. Where's Cedric at? Hand up, Cedric. No. Yeah, get it up. Brody Kaiser. I don't know if Brody's here, but I want to thank Brody. Where's Pastor Mike at? Pastor Mike, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you taking the time to be here. Kevin McDermott, I don't know if Kevin is here. And then I want to especially thank Rob Bentley. So Rob has done a tremendous amount of work, and he works, his work ethic is second to none. And I have an opportunity to experience that on a daily basis. And I think for those of us who have been around Ferris State athletics, we recognize that, and I just want to tell him how much we appreciate him, and he's certainly a big part of making this event happen. So thank you to all those people. And again, enjoy your evening, and congratulations, everyone.
Before we get to our next speaker, I would like to have all the past inductees of the Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame stand and be recognized. I know we have a few of them here in attendance tonight. Coach Tom Ludwig, Coach Lewis Garner, along with Coach Jim Miller, and Dean Davenport. Congratulations again to all of you as well when you were inducted here into the Hall of Fame. We're fortunate here at Ferris State to have outstanding leadership and administrative support, and that starts at the top. I'd like to introduce the president of Ferris State University, Dr. Bill Pink.
All right, good evening. We can do better than that. Good evening. Come on now, we're a bunch of athletes here that know how to scream and yell at each other. Certainly we can do a little bit of that tonight. It is so good to have you all here. What an awesome opportunity. I am such a big believer in Hall of Fames, especially when it comes to athletics, because I get very partial to that because of just having been a student athlete and also a coach and athletic directing myself back in 1900 and none of your business. But what is so cool about this, friends, is that we get to think about how we celebrate greatness. That's really what it is, celebrating greatness. So the first way I want to do that tonight is that I would like to ask all of our coaches who are presently Bulldog coaches, you and your +1 tonight, please stand and be recognized. All our coaches, staff, please stand up and be recognized. Now, I have to say you're +1 because I know and you know you can't do it well without them, if you're being truthful, because it does take a team to be able to get this work done. So thank you to our coaches. Thank you for what you do for our student athletes. Also, I want to ask all of our athletic staff and your +1s, would you please stand and be recognized? The whole athletic staff here at Ferris State University, please stand. Friends, I do that because they need to know and you need to know that they are so important to everything that you see tonight. When we celebrate athletics, when we celebrate greatness, it doesn't happen accidentally. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens because people behind the scenes and in front of the scenes are working awfully hard for this university. And so I say thank you to them. Now, again, help me out. Please, once again, would we have our honorees for tonight? Please stand and let's recognize them once more, please. All right, stay up, please, stay up, don't sit down just yet. Here's what I'd love to say to you tonight. One of the things about Hall of Fame celebrations, in my experience, is that usually folks, I can't think of an exception to this, hardly at all. When I have seen Hall of Fame inductees in colleges, universities, when I've seen that, these are usually individuals that we are not only celebrating what you did during the time you were here at this university, but so often the individuals that we end up celebrating, it goes beyond just what you did while you were here. Because so often we can chronicle all the things you did after you finished here. When you were done and what you did in your professional life, and in many cases, what you are still doing in your professional life. Because those things also make your university awfully proud of you. Make no mistake, we appreciated what you did on the court on the field, on the ice. Awesome. Thank you for that. But thank you also for how you continue to hold this Bulldog banner in such a strong way that you represent us still today. Because people still ask, so where'd you go to college? Where'd you go to university? Where'd you play? And you tell them Ferris State University. And you tell them what the Bulldog Nation truly was while you were here and what it is today. Because that Bulldog Nation is still very alive and well. Make no mistake about that. Those people that just stood a while ago, they continue to carry the banner as coaches and as staff. They continue to carry that for you and for this university. So you can be proud and rest assured that the men and women that just stood a second ago, they are in it also still for you. But thank you so much for what you have done and for what you continue to do for this great university. You may be seated. So friends, thank you so much for being here tonight. I hate to be standing between you and food, but I just need to say, welcome home. Thank you for being back home tonight. Thank you to people like Rob Bentley, who knocks it out of the park every time he has a microphone in front of his face. Please give him a hand. That man's awesome. We appreciate you tonight. We're going to have a good time tonight. Thank you for what you do for the Ferris State University Bulldog Nation. Go Dogs. Thank you.
I'd also like to take a minute to introduce the members of our Hall of Fame Selection Committee who helped select this class of inductees back in 2020, and I know many of them are here tonight. First of all, my broadcast partner, Sandy Golston, former Sports Information Director here and News Services Director Ted Holm, John Smith from our News Services Office, and a former voice of the Bulldogs, Dean Davenport, former athletic director here at Ferris State. Our senior associate AD, Sarah Higley. Coach Tia Branda Wilhelm, who I know could not be here tonight. Along with Stacy Bush, former Bulldog. John Milan, who is here in the back. Our former athletic director, Perk Weisenberger. And John Raffel, sports writer for the Big Rapids Pioneer. I'd also like to take a minute to thank Wes and Zach and our entire crew on the IT staff and our photo crew here tonight for helping out with this banquet. Now the part we have all been looking forward to here tonight. It's time to honor and recognize our honorees here this evening. I'll provide a brief background on each honoree, and then we'll have them come up where Steve Brocklebank will present the awards, and we'll give each an opportunity to speak. We'll start first with our Athletics Special Service Award honoree, Karma Burcham. A longtime supporter of Bulldog Athletics and a dedicated employee of Ferris State University, Karma served as the school's coordinator of records and NCAA eligibility for more than 30 years, where she impacted thousands of student athletes. While at Ferris State, she held numerous roles and positions, including serving as the assistant registrar for athletic eligibility. She also served on the Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame Committee and was active in numerous booster clubs. She was one of the first recipients of Ferris State's Pete Peterson Bulldog Pride Award for her athletic contributions and support. She also devoted her time to helping recognize the academic accomplishments of Ferris State student athletes throughout her administrative career. She becomes the 5th overall recipient of the Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame Special Service Award, Karma Burcham.
They got one my size. Usually I'm about down here. To the Hall of Fame Committee, I thank you for this award. I'm receiving this award for probably having the best job on campus. There was a trust across the campus to make our jobs a joint effort. We had a challenge to keep things rolling, and we always had new questions. It was always interesting. I'd like to introduce my family who supported me in every way possible, including they enjoyed all the games, let me tell you. My husband, Dr. Dan Burcham, or Dr. B, as the students call him, former Vice President of Student Affairs. We have a combined 76 years as employees at Ferris State University. My Michigan family, Judy and Steve Hale, are here to support me again. Thank you. And George and Sue Rosen, our San Antonio, Texas family. Thank you. My daughters, Chalice and Lisa, and grandchildren, Kendall and Keegan Jones, reside in San Antonio, Texas. As we all know, sometimes schedules just don't mesh. They are not able to attend tonight. Something about school, sports, teaching and jobs. Well, but not to worry. We have FaceTime going, so just wave and smile. And speaking of my granddaughter, which I did, Kendall, I have some exciting news. I get to keep my college sports front and center as she has committed to play soccer at Texas Tech University, where she will be a Red Raider, even though she will always be a Bulldog at heart. I've been privileged to present literally hundreds of academic and meritorious awards. Now I realize it is much easier to give an award than it is to receive an award. And working with Ferris State student athletes allowed me to work with talented and dedicated students willing to put their heart and their soul into every single day. In addition to the student athletes, it allowed me to work with the athletic directors, coaches, NCAA, GLIAC, CCHA League, commissioners, faculty athletic advisory board, academic advisors, professors, dean's office, counselors, high school counselors, teachers, vice presidents, presidents, admissions, financial aid, my own registrar's office, and God bless them, the parents. With all these connections, my office was able to reach across and get immediate cooperation. Every student has all this support working for them every single day to ensure the success of our student athletes. Every day, all of these people. I would like to thank my athletic directors, and I do say my athletic directors, although I did not work in the athletic office. They were my athletic directors: Dean Davenport, Larry Marfis, Tom Kernovic, Perk Weisenberger, slightly, but it was enjoyable. Thank you very much. I would like to thank them for the complete acceptance of our dual responsibilities. I thank my coaches from the past to the present. They never let me down. They brought me great students, interesting cases, and we worked together. I gave them a lifetime of reading and interpretations and decisions. In all the 30 years that there was complete support and respect for partnership, we really all did work together. I have completed thousands, literally, of athletic certifications over my 30 years. Sounds like a lot, but remember, this was every day, twice a day, for 30 years, and that doesn't include the high school transcripts for students before they enrolled at Ferris. People often ask, how did you learn all the rules and the regulations? Well, fortunately, I love to read, and the NCAA manuals are the best mystery books I've ever read. It was always one of my goals to establish a connection with the student where they could walk in with a concern and have a clear path to resolving that concern when they walk back out. Those concerns could be a myriad of situations, and sometimes they just needed to verbalize what was going on. At other times, the issues were very serious, complicated, and we would formulate solutions to clear that path where the student had direction and a plan to get there. Graduation. Each year I have two favorite days. The day I met the new team and told them that this is a great day. The second, the best day when you are lined up and come around the doorway into the graduation ceremonies. I will be waiting there for you, first person, first row, front and center to give you congratulations. This is the best day. That graduation day is the most gratifying aspect of my job. Over our combined 76 years of being at Ferris State University, together Dan and I have attended 300 graduation ceremonies. You have to remember, we don't just have one graduation. We have 2 full days of it, and this is over 30, well, with Dan, because he stayed later than I did, with like 35 years. Dan, as vice president, would be up on the stage to greet the students, and I would be greeting them when they first entered the auditorium. Then after the students passed by, I would walk, quick-stepping up the aisle and take my seat on the front row. One more opportunity to give them congratulations. And the final chapter, I had former athletes come in with their sons and daughters to introduce me and have me verify that all the stories about all the games was no exaggeration. And verify I did. Sometimes they would look up on the wall at the collages and they find themselves. I do still hear from the former students and see them at the games. They always ask if I remember them. Of course I do. You don't forget your friends. Thank you for every single memory. I will never forget this celebration. Thank you.
Now it's time to introduce our inductees. We'll do this in alphabetical order. We'll start first with Jeff Blashill. The Bulldog goaltender spent 4 seasons between the pipes for Ferris State, earning the Bulldog Rookie of the Year award in 1994-95 and a spot on the CCHA All-Academic Team in 1996-97. He also won the President's Award for 3 straight years for having the team's highest grade point average. He ranked among the top 15 netminders in school history with 27 career victories and 78 games played, also ranked among the top 10 all-time in a Bulldog uniform. He's also listed on the all-time charts with 1,666 career saves. He later began his coaching career by spending 3 seasons as an assistant coach under head coach Bob Daniels here at Ferris State, before moving on in both the collegiate and professional ranks in a distinguished coaching career that has included head coaching stops in the USHL, AHL, and the NHL, currently with the Tampa Bay Lightning of the National Hockey League. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame inductee, Jeff Blashill.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks to everybody involved with the Hall of Fame committee. Thanks to Steve. I know Perk Weisenberg and I talked about this a long time ago, so it's a long time coming, and certainly excited to be up here at the podium right now. Congrats to all the honorees. Looking at your accomplishments as a student athlete are far greater than mine. And so certainly honored to be up here and be included with you in this class of honorees. And Karma, I owe a lot to you. At the beginning of my coaching career, you helped me a lot. So certainly thank you for everything you've done for us and for me personally. When I left Ferris State, if I was going to be inducted into a hall, I would have guessed it would have been the Hall of Shame at Star Shooters, if we're being honest with each other. So for me to be standing here today is pretty special. Dr. Pink, when you talked about what you did after, yeah, that would be more of what is apropos here. So Ferris means so much to me and my family. Obviously, I could stand up here for hours and talk. I'm not going to do that, but I really could, and what it's meant to me. My wife, Erica, is a Bulldog. I met her here. We started our family here. She can't be here. Her and our kids are fighting the hurricane back in Tampa. So Father of the Year award to me on leaving them back there to button down the hatches, and we're here, so it's good.
my family is here, my parents and my siblings, and real appropriate that we're all able to share this together. Mom and Dad, growing up, you taught any success I've had in life has been because of what you've done for me and the influences you've had on me in my life. Hard work, perseverance. Just watching what you guys have done and how you lived your lives has given me those attributes and certainly helped me throughout my time. And the one thing you always preached was family. And so for my siblings to be here, Lisa, Deb, Tim, for the Outlaws to be here, Steve and Aaron, we're missing one, is certainly special. Steve and Lisa, my sister and brother-in-law would have snuck out of some parties back in the day, so they deserve to be here for sure for that. I remember I got concussed one year, and Deb came down with Lisa and spent time here, and then Timmy actually followed me here and has now probably more Bulldog than I am, and certainly proud of what you've accomplished here, proud of what you've done for this university. Everybody I talked to has said what a great job you've done, so it's real proud of you for what you've done there. But it's special that I get to share it with all of you. The best thing about being a Bulldog for me was my teammates. And we just had a special group of people. And I tried to text them last night to kind of tell them what they meant to me. And I can't put it in words, but this is what I would say to you, is I've got 4 of them here tonight in Valentino Passarelli, who's also Brad Morris's brother-in-law. So maybe he had to be here. I can't say that. But Valentino Passarelli, Keith Surgott, Dwight Parrish, and Seth Appert. And so for them to be here, to me, just speaks volumes of what being a Bulldog means. And I talked to our hockey team here today, and a lot of teams talk about brotherhood. A lot of it's signage, it's things on a locker room. We live it, man. Like Dwight Parrish flew here from Houston, Texas. Like, what that means is incredible. That's what brotherhood means, and that's what it's meant to me. When I got here on campus, I was competing for a spot with Seth Appert as 2 goalies. And Seth didn't try to put me down, didn't try to kind of push me to a side. He embraced me and brought me into our fold. And we become best friends because of that. And so, you want to talk about what real brotherhood means, that's real brotherhood. Our kids think they're siblings now because how close we are. So that speaks to what that is. I can't say enough about what it means to be a Bulldog and how important that those teammates are. Finally, I just want to touch on 2 real important people that are here tonight, and that's Drew Famulak and Bob Daniels. So I had great coaches. Jamie Russell was here with me. Coached me for a number of years. We worked together for a year. Mark Kaufman was before and after me, actually, and had great impact. But Drew was with me for 4 years as a coach, and then with me my whole time as I was an assistant coach here. And Drew certainly helped me learn how to coach, helped me learn how to be a recruiter. But man, he taught me how to be a good dad, taught me how to be a good husband. And I'll always cherish that. I'll always be thankful of that. Drew and Cheryl are great friends of my wife, Erica, and I, and so very thankful to always call you my friend. And then finally to Bob, what a program you built here. It's honestly amazing. And you think of what you've built, the brotherhood that you've built here is crazy. You come back to a Ferris golf outing, there's hundreds of alums that are at the outing, hundreds. And you come back and you speak to these guys. I don't even know which guys I played with, which guys I didn't anymore. That's how much we've just become. We're all Bulldogs, and that's what Bob's built. Your on-ice success is incredible. To look at the banners and to see a national finalist, that's amazing, especially when you consider the teams you're competing against and the resources those teams have. It's amazing, absolutely amazing, the league championships. But what you've done more than anything else, Bob, and what I think the biggest judge of a coach is the impact you have on others and the impact that you've had on so many alums. And I can speak to me has been honestly outside of my parents, and you're right up there with maybe one youth coach I've had as the biggest impact I've had on my life. And so for that for you to have had that on not just myself, I could have 100 alums here with me. And to me, that makes you a Hall of Fame coach, man. And in the end, when we do get a new rink built here, which we will at some point, Dr. Pink, there'll be a statue of Bob in front. I really appreciate it. I'm honored to be up here. The best decision I ever made in my life was the decision to come to Ferris State, bar none. Thank you very much. I will buy drinks at Star Shooters tonight. Anybody that wants to come. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Lucy DeMartin Pryor. The Bulldogs standout finished her career as the school's all-time leading scorer in women's basketball with 1,721 career points. Her play as a senior helped the Bulldogs to the NCAA tournament, along with a runner-up finish in the GLIAC. The Mason product was a two-time honorable mention All-American on the hardwood and averaged in double figures each of her final 3 seasons. The 4-year letter winner also had her jersey retired in Wink Arena. She posted a school single-season record 567 points and was a first-team Verizon Academic All-America selection her final season. She finished her career as the school's leader with 402 made free throws while being listed among Ferris State's all-time top 10 performers in field goals, steals, assists, rebounds, block shots, three-point field goals, three-point field goal percentage, and free throw percentage. Ladies and gentlemen, Class of 2023 Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame inductee, Lucy DeMartin Pryor.
All right, well, I can put the ball in the basket, but I am not a public speaker, so bear with me here. This is obviously an awesome honor to be included with all these great athletes. Congrats to all of you. Obviously, I had fun reading about all of you, and very well-deserved honors for all of you. I want to start off by just thanking God. I give him all the glory, and I really believe that he led me here, because Ferris State was not even on my radar. A lot of things kind of had to fall into place at the last minute for me even to get here, and I'm really thankful for that because it ended up being the perfect place for me. This place played a huge part in building me into the person I am today, and I was blessed and loved by many people during the time I was here. And so I have a lot of thank yous to pass out. I'll start with my parents. They, of course, did all the, parent things, running me all over, making vacations around basketball, having no free time, all that kind of stuff I really appreciate now that I'm a mom. Most importantly, I am really thankful that they had high expectations for me my entire life. They challenged me to be a better person and athlete while encouraging me always to keep the big picture in mind. Reminding me to count my blessings and be thankful for all that I have. I want to also thank my grandma who's here today. I was lucky to have 4 very supportive grandparents, and she and my grandpa were super fans. They traveled all over the place, and it was awesome always to have them in the stands. I also want to give a shout out to all of the coaches that taught me how to play growing up. One of them being my dad. He spent a lot of time with me and coached our AAU team. He was a great player himself and knows how to develop players. He coached with 2 of his good friends. One of them is here. We call him Big D. And he and Don Vackler. And it wasn't an easy job coaching me, let me tell you. At the beginning, I started playing basketball in 7th grade. I was super competitive, very emotional, and terrible at basketball, and it wasn't a good combination. But they were the dream team of coaches, and I'm really thankful for all the work that they put in with me. Also, I want to give a shout out to Tracy, our coach at Ferris. She was one of the few coaches that believed I could play Division II basketball. I think the story goes, even her assistant coach didn't think I could. He thought it was too little and too weak. So, and he wasn't wrong, because the first time I got in the weight room, it was pretty bad. But I really want to say thank you to her for just seeing my potential and supporting me during the 4 years. She gave me an incredible opportunity to come to Ferris, and I'll always be grateful to her for that. There were so many people at Ferris, from Tom Krinovic, the AD when I was there, to Karma Burkham, Pastor Mike was here. So many people that supported us are the other athletic coaches, the trainers, Sandy, Rob, all the fans. You made us feel really valued and created a great community to be a part of. So I want to thank you guys all for that. Last but not least, of course, my teammates. I would have never made it without them. They really brought the joy to basketball for me. There's ups, downs, success, failures, laughter, tears, but through it all, we had each other, and those bonds really are forever. The memories I shared with them and the friendships I built are some of the greatest takeaways from Ferris, so I want to thank all of them. And then, in closing, you know, when I drive into Big Rapids now, it feels like I'm going home. I'm immediately filled with joy, thankfulness, and Bulldog pride. Sorry. This place holds a lot of positive memories and experiences. It's where I met my husband, where I met some of my best friends. I came here as a totally nervous, homesick teenager, and I left as a strong, confident adult. So I just want to thank you, Ferris, for 4 years. I'll never forget, for the lessons learned, the relationships built, and the laughter and memories shared. I'll forever be thankful to this wonderful university. Go Dogs.
Our next inductee is Danny Hayes, the two-time first-team All-GLIAC honoree, averaged 21.5 points per game as a senior, and is regarded as one of the top performers on the floor in school history. He finished with 1,846 career points and twice led the team in rebounding. Ferris State claimed a league title and posted 2 runner-up finishes during his career under head coach Tom Ludwig. Hayes concluded his career ranked among the top 10 in school history with 129 made three-pointers, 125 steals, 636 made field goals, and 445 made free throws. His 551 career rebounds also ranks among the top 20 all-time. The standout player was the 1992 GLIAC Freshman of the Year and was a first-team All-Region choice as a senior. Twice he was chosen as the team MVP and went on to play a distinguished career overseas. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Danny Hayes.
Give a speech for me. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of my fellow inductees. It truly is an honor to be inducted with such a distinguished group of student athletes. And also, Karma, where are you? Burcham. Karma Burcham, one of my favorite people on the campus was Karma. And so I'm really honored to go into this Hall of Fame with you as well. First of all, I'd like to thank past and present athletic directors, Perk Weisenberg, Steve Brocklebank, the Hall of Fame committee, thank you. Big thanks to Coach Andy Brockma, his staff, and all of his players. Coach Brockma, truly, I don't think I would be standing here if it wasn't for the success that you and your players and your staff had. So I really thank you so much for welcoming us, former players, back up here, letting us know what's going on, helping us to feel part of the program. Andy, I really appreciate you so much for that. Appreciate that. Let's give them a round of applause to all the success that they've had. Now, although we're standing here before you, being honored, an honor like this cannot be achieved individually, with individual success, but through the success of a team. To quote Phil Jackson, Phil said, "The strength of a team is each individual member, and the strength of each member is the team." And so throughout my basketball career, I've had a wonderful supporting cast of coaches, teammates, mentors, a loving, supportive family. So I'd like to spend this moment to thank all of them for all of the love and support that they've shown me during my basketball journey. And many of them also are here today. So I'd like to just thank them as I go through this. To my Ferris State coaches, Tom Ludwig, Lewis Gardner, Bill Killian. The person that recruited me, he was Richard Greer. He was up to the last seconds calling me, "Did you commit? Did you commit?" So I'd like to thank him for recruiting me and bringing me up here to Ferris State. To my many teammates, it's too many to count: Flynn Hall, Byron Johnson, Joe Blankenship, Raphael Peterson, Ty Miller, Coach Ludwig's son, Tom Jr. He really would, during practice, he would guard me so close and so hard that I thought my name was Ludwig on the back of my jersey. That's how close he would guard me. But Tom, thank you so much, man. You really made me the player that I become. You know, I remember my first Midnight Madness game here at Ferris State. It was the freshmen and sophomores against the upperclassmen. I scored 24 points that night. And I remember Ludwig turning to Coach Gardner and saying, "Man, I think we got a player in that kid." But little did he know he had a Hall of Famer. The transition for me from high school to college, though, it was what I thought was an easy transition. And I'll tell you why. Well, it's because I had been prepped for this moment. The high school teammates were some of the best high school players in the country. My coach, Perry Watson, who made the journey to come up here. Perry Watson, yeah, we'll get to Perry Watson. Let's give it up for Perry Watson. Coach Watson is considered to be one of the best high school coaches in Detroit history. And all of the wonderful experiences prepped me for this experience here at Ferris State. And that's why I'm exactly up here because of the tutelage from Coach Watson. So I thank you so much, Coach, for supporting me and all the love and support. Next, I'd like to thank many of my family members. Now, on our family text thread, we talk about legacy, we talk about leadership, we talk about integrity, principles to live by and to strive for. And we do this to help build confidence and self-worth to those coming behind us. And so building up our family legacy, those attributes are truly important. And so today, I'm just adding to my family's long history of hard-working professionals, teachers, administrators, entrepreneurs, medical professionals, and now we can add another category, Hall of Famer, to that list. I'd like to thank all of my family that made this trip. My parents, Danny and Angela, my brother, Derek, and his wife, Delina. My sister, Diamond, made the trip. My uncle and aunt, Anthony and Karen. My nephew, Blake, and also my little cousin, Christopher. He made the trip. So thank you guys all so much for the love and support that you've shown me throughout the years. And to my greatest gifts and accomplishments during my tenure here at Ferris State, my sons, Justice, Aaron, Stefan, Malik, my grandson. Yeah, you probably think I'm the world's youngest grandfather, but my grandson Oliver, he's right over there. My granddaughter, I have two granddaughters, Eva and Evangeline. Thank you so much for all the love and support. And I hope you are proud of your pops up here now. I'd like to thank my beautiful wife, Courtney, my daughter, Chloe. Courtney, I wish that we had met during my playing days. And I have to apologize that you got the broken down version of me. Through all the many surgeries but I thank you so much for all the love and support that you've shown me and nursing me back to health. Appreciate that. I love you. Finally, I dedicate this honor to my mother, Kim Etta Norris. She was my #1 fan. And so she passed away in 2005. And so, Mama, I miss you, and I dedicate this to you. So in conclusion, I'd like to quote the second wisest person to ever live, is King Solomon. He said these words. He said, "The conclusion of the matter is this: fear the true God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole obligation of man." Now, why would he say that? Well, because he knew that every gift that we ever receive, or every talent that we may possess, he knew that comes from the Creator, Jehovah God. And so for my gifts and for all the talents that I have received, I'd like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Go Dogs.
Our next inductee is Tiana Kirkland. A two-sport standout, she enjoyed a stellar 4-year career here at Ferris State. On the basketball floor, she guided the Bulldogs to a combined record of 74-37 and the school's first ever NCAA Division II tournament appearance in 2000. She put together her finest collegiate season as a senior co-captain in 2000-2001, leading the Bulldogs with career-high averages of 15.2 points and 9.7 rebounds, while claiming GLIAC Player of the Year and All-America accolades. She closed her career ranked among the school's top 10 in scoring, rebounding, field goal percentage, blocks, and free throws made. In addition, she lettered in track and field, earning NCAA Division II All-America honors in both the indoor and outdoor shot put and discus. A two-time team captain, she left Ferris State as the school record holder in all 3 events and went on to serve as a longtime assistant women's basketball coach and staff member on the NCAA Division I level. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 Hall of Fame inductee, Tiana Kirkland.
Danny, I wish you weren't right before me because I was really at ease at first, and then Danny came up here and he was so serious that I did not write a speech. So anyways, I first just want to thank God because I don't think any of us would be brought together in this room tonight if it wasn't for him. And certainly he's been a part of every step of my path, and I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for every plan that he had for me. Certainly coming to Ferris was part of his plan. I would like to thank the committee. This is an unbelievable honor. It hasn't really hit me yet, I guess, how grand of an honor this is, but I'm looking around at all the other people that have been inducted and reading through their material and listening to them talk, and It's overwhelming. I can't believe that I'm in the same category as all of you. So congratulations to everyone. And thank you so much to the committee for considering me for this honor and I guess actually awarding this honor to me. I would just say, Ferris to me it's such an amazing memory. I can't just pin it down to any one thing or Star Shooters I actually forgot about until you mentioned it. But for me, I came here and I honestly had not spent more than 2 nights away from my parents ever in my entire life. We're from Flint, Michigan, and they thought Ferris was so far because my sister went to Saginaw Valley, which is like 45 minutes. We're 3 hours away here. I think maybe one reason they let me come is because my aunt and uncle who are here tonight live in Everett, and so they were about 45 minutes away. So I had family nearby, which was amazing, and the pharmacy school here. I did go to pharmacy school. I have not used that degree yet. I've been coaching for 20 years, but all of that, all of my experiences here really led me to where I am in my life right now. When I came to school, I would definitely tell you I did not want to be a coach. My mom kept asking me about it. She kept saying, one day you should be a coach. And I just kept saying, Mom, I would never want to coach these people. Like, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to play. So I coached for 20 years. And a big part of that was Tracy Bloodworth, who was my coach for 3 years while I was here. She was amazing. I will say my freshman year as player here, I only played in 7 games total. And it ended up being a blessing because I got here and I thought I was really good. When I look back at it now, I don't know how good I was, honestly, but obviously I wasn't good enough to play for that coach, which led me to track and field. And so I couldn't handle the fact that I wasn't playing. Track is an individual sport. I knew I would be in control of everything if I went out for the track team, walked into the coach's office and said, can I try out for the team? He said, what are your distances? I told him, and he was like, you're on the team. And so I got to do that for 5 years while I was here and set some cool records. I honestly did not know about some of those school records until I read through the things, because track is just different. You don't have a meeting afterwards to say, people did this at the meet, like people broke this record. It just happens, and then you go on with life. Where basketball, you're all together and we know every single thing that happens. So I want to thank both teams because I found a home really with both, and for my coaches with both. And Tom Kernovic, because not every athletic director lets coaches pull from both sports. So he was here and he allowed that to happen, so I want to thank him as well. I think what's huge to me, I was really fostered with the community here, the community being the outside community, the fans, the other students. I spent a lot of time hanging out with people that were not my teammates. I got to know a lot of people just that were students, and that was amazing. Some of them are still my best friends, and just meeting people from all over the world, people from different backgrounds, the kindness of people here, I think. I've worked on 5 different campuses, and you don't see the same people a lot of times. And here, it was just a family all the time. Karma, I saw her today, and it was like going back in time to me walking in her office and saying, Karma, what classes do I take? What do I need to be doing? And everyone was like that. No one was a stranger. You could be walking across campus, you have your basketball t-shirt on, and everyone's gonna ask, what position do you play? When do you guys have a game? And the feel here is second to none. It's amazing. I've actually helped, I try to send kids here if they're not good enough to play for us, because I really believe in this place academically and athletically. I'd also, just like to say, I struggled for a bit when I was here, and everyone was so gracious, and now I'm in an amazing place, but I wasn't always in an amazing place. But being at a school like this, where we just had the amount of support that we had that you don't always find at smaller schools, it was everything to me. I really wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for everyone, just everyone. I can't remember a terrible person ever that I came across up here. I want to thank my parents. My dad, he was not one to push you by encouraging you per se. He was more, you can't do it. You're not good enough at it. And honestly, that works for some people, and it worked for me. And if he hadn't said that to me, I might have just settled, honestly. And then I had my mom, who's constantly there to pick me up and run me all across the state to practices. They came to a lot of games, and I just want to thank them both because they're different parenting styles. It doesn't work for everyone. It works for me. I am super competitive, and that's because I just felt like I was always competing with my dad. Like, I can't do it. I am going to do it. He asked me when my jersey was retired if they did that because the coach was my friend. And I was like, I don't think it works that way, but maybe. So anyways, I mean, that's just who he is, and he's still super competitive at 80 years old. He still lifts weights, and I just want to thank both of them so much. My siblings, they both went to Saginaw Valley. My brother played football at Saginaw Valley, and I know he should come to Ferris, but they were amazing. They're still huge parts of my life. They both had other obligations today, so they couldn't be here. But just having them in my corner constantly was amazing. And I want to thank Lucy for coming to watch me get inducted into the Hall of Fame. But when I heard Lucy's numbers, those were amazing. I can't believe it. If we would have played together, I wouldn't be here because your numbers were so grand. But I do want to thank all my former teammates. We had huge changes in our team while I was here. When I was a sophomore, when I was a junior, all the starters quit the team. So going into my senior year, that really pushed me to say, we're going to work this summer and we're going to do it. I don't care who left the team. We're going to get this done. I had coaches that believed in me. I had support staff, like academically, trainers, athletic director, everyone. And my teammates, we just came together, and I just love all of them to this day, and I just want to thank them, and to so many faces that I saw and so many new faces that I met here today. Mr. Kernovic and Sandy and Rob, they were all big parts of my career, and I just want to thank all of you, and I'll definitely be coming back, so thank you.
Next up, we have Brad Morris, a three-time All-American. He was a two-time national runner-up in 1987 and 1989, and placed fourth in 1988 in the 167-pound weight class. He was also a two-time academic All-America honorable mention selection for the Bulldogs, and chosen as the Bulldog of the Year recipient as the school's top male student athlete. In 4 years, he never lost a GLIAC match and was a four-time GLIAC champion. He earned the GLIAC Freshman of the Year award in 1986 and was voted the GLIAC MVP in 1989. His two national runner-up finishes are tied for the program's top individual finishes in school history, and he owns the school record for most matches in a season with 53 in 1988-89. As a senior, he led the Bulldogs to the program's highest finish ever with a national runner-up showing. He later went on to a standout prep coaching career. Ladies and gentlemen, inducted into the Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2023, Brad Morris.
All right. Well, first, congratulations to all the inductees. It's really an honor to be up here with a group of athletes like you guys. Reading the bios, it was very impressive to look through those. If you haven't seen the ones online, I suggest you guys look at those. They probably couldn't fit it on a flyer, but they're really, really impressive. So I have a few thank yous before I get started. I want to thank the committee, obviously, and special thanks to Dean Davenport. I'm very grateful for the induction here to the Hall of Fame. I would also like to put out a thank you to Jim Miller, Dan Hutchinson for nominating me. I appreciate it. It's been a long time. It's been like, what, 33 years? So it took a while, but, you know, with the program not being still alive, it takes people like that to push for some of us guys that have kind of been forgotten. But, so I really appreciate that. To my mom and dad, thanks for being great role models for the entire family. Both of your work ethics have really come through in my life, and it's meant a lot to me. 58 years of marriage. It's really demonstrated what love and commitment's all about. Thanks for the financial commitment that you made. Thanks for the time commitment. I mean, anybody who's in competitive sports understands the time commitment, the traveling, the vacations given up. You know, my brother's over there, so he missed out on a lot of vacations too, because we're doing all of this wrestling stuff around the country. So I also want to thank my wife, Laura, of 32 years. Thanks for being a part of my life. We met up here at Ferris, and we've been together ever since. We have 4 beautiful children with Mark, Lauren, and twins Jack and Holly. So, you know, everyone's been talking about how it was kind of like meant to be up here. That's kind of like my story as well. I mean, if I wouldn't have been here, I wouldn't have met my wife and have the great kids that I have. So I appreciate it. Thanks for everything, Laura. To my high school coach, Terry Champion. He spent 3 years coaching me in high school, and he's the one who actually brought me up here to Ferris on my visit, and I want to thank him for that. To my college coaches, Jim Miller and Jim Blake, thanks for being incredibly demanding and expecting great things of our whole team. Thanks for being more than just coaches. You guys were also friends. So I want to thank my workout partners, because if I didn't have great workout partners, I sure wouldn't be here. My main man, Kurt Johnson, we work together every day, and he's a main reason why I'm up here, is because if you don't have great workout partners, you're not gonna make it. So you're only as good as the guys you're working with. So thanks to Kurt, thanks to Doug Chapman, Doug Mooney, Dad Hutchison, Derek Phillips, and obviously Coach Jim Miller. I don't know if a lot of you probably don't know, but Jim was like my weight class, if you can believe that, back in the day. But he was the alternate on the Olympic team. So I got up there as a freshman, 18-year-old kid, going against this guy who was 28 years old, alternate on the Olympic team, happens to be my weight. So guess who I got to work out with quite a bit. So I learned a lot real quick. So that was important to have great workout partners. Thank you very much. So when I talked to Jim last week or a week before, I said, Jim, what do you think I should talk about? And I said, we started talking about some of the memories we had. And I said, Jim, what do you think if I share that? And, I probably shouldn't share that memory. And he was, well, how about this one? No, you probably shouldn't share that one either. So I got these memories here, and I was going to share them. But when I heard Dean Davenport's name mentioned, he was my AD, and a memory came back to me, and I thought I'd share this. So I was a freshman. I'm in the wrestling room, and Dean comes in, and he starts giving us this pep talk, and we're all sitting in the room, and he asked, "Do you know how we got the name Bulldogs? Does anybody know how we got the name Bulldogs?" See, you're going to learn something today. See, I was a teacher. I'm a retired school teacher, so everyone's going to learn something today. So anyways, the story goes is that we had a football team that went down and played Notre Dame. And I don't remember the exact story, but we did. I don't think we won, but we played incredibly hard. And I guess the coach from Notre Dame said to our people, wow, those guys played so hard, they're playing like Bulldogs. And that's what he was telling us in our wrestling room. When you go out there and you represent that Bulldog, you got to play like that or wrestle like that every time, because that's how we got our name. So that was the story or the memory I decided to share. I could share some other stories, like when I was a freshman, and like I said, I was wrestling with Jim a lot, and I shoot in with a bad shot, not knowing I'm 18 out of high school, and he would put me in this front headlock, and he would squeeze and like choke the life out of me, and I'd come to, and And I was like, oh, what was that all about? And he'd look at me all like with the face and just give me that's what you get if you don't protect yourself. Well, finally, I kind of got that. So it didn't take too long to learn. But then I was a senior. So I was a senior. I grew up a little bit. I'm not 18. I got a little experience now. So I hit Jim in a headlock. I don't know if he remembers this, but I put him in a headlock, and I put that sucker over there. I had him. I put that over. I squeezed with everything I had. Finally, he's out. He goes limp. So I got up, and all the guys in the room were all excited and laughing and having a ball. He gets up, and he is mad. He is bad. You don't know what you're doing. You could hurt somebody like that. That was a great memory. But so I gave him that same look that he gave me and said, "Hey, that's what you get when you don't protect yourself." So, but really, what I want to talk about is our team accomplishments. Now, our team hasn't been around for a long time, so some of the things that we did are kind of forgotten about. And I want to make sure that, you guys leave here today, and some of the administrators and things that didn't know what we accomplished is kind of heard here tonight. And we did it with 3.5 scholarships. Okay, that's what we had here, 3.5 scholarships. And Coach Miller and Coach Blake put these teams together, and they were exceptional. So the core guys that came in 1986 and 89, we came in right out of high school. We didn't redshirt. We were all like just thrown into the lion's den right off the bat. That first year was pretty difficult. We took our lumps, and the coaches really had to kind of whip us together and worked us hard. And I think the word that was used was torture. Wasn't that what it was? They tortured us. They worked us really hard. But through 1987 to 1993, Ferris State, we won 7 GLIAC championships in a row. 7. We won 4 regional titles, and the other 3 years we placed second. In 1988, we finished 4th in the nation, and in 1989, we finished second. The teams from 87 to 93 had 15 All-Americans, 9 of which were multiple All-Americans. During that great Ferris run, we competed against many Division I schools, such as Notre Dame, Northwestern, Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, and all these other schools head-to-head. And it wasn't against their B teams, it was their best versus our best. We also competed in national tournaments like the Ohio Open, the Las Vegas Open, Midlands Open, with all the big schools like Penn State, Oklahoma State, Iowa, and the rest of them. That 89 team was an exceptional. Not only did we finish as the GLIAC champs, the regional champs, and finish second in the country, we also defeated, we beat these teams, their best. We beat Michigan State head-to-head. We beat University of Toledo. We beat Eastern Michigan. We beat the Mid-American Conference champion Central Michigan University. Our best versus their best, and we beat them. Can't take that away. Coach Miller eventually had a hard time scheduling these schools. They didn't want to go against us because, who wants to go lose against a Division II school? It's probably not real good for your job security. So it was hard to get those guys. But our team was exceptional, and I'm proud to be a part of that team and that group and be a part of the coaches and just be a part of that whole community. But lastly, what I want to say is, again, I'm very honored and grateful to be here, but there are many other deserving wrestlers from a team that has been long forgotten. It's my hope that the Ferris State Hall of Fame Committee will consider those deserving wrestlers and for future inductions, like 2-time All-American and academic All-American Kurt Johnson, 3-time All-American and academic All-American Doug Chapman, 3-time All-American and academic All-American Dan Hutchinson, 2-time All-American and academic All-American Gary Hoops, 2-time All-American Donnie Van Mork, assistant coach Jim Blake, because obviously Coach Miller couldn't do that all himself, and the 1989 national runner-up team. I hope one day to see all that done. I know it can't be done tomorrow, but in the next certain amount of time, I hope it does get done. Thank you again. It's been an honor, and go Dogs.
Next up, we have Gideon Smith, one of the school's first African-American players. He was a star football player at Ferris Institute during the 1910 and 1911 seasons, earning a varsity letter after the 1910 campaign. Regarded as one of the team's top linemen under head coach Tom Taggart, he later continued his college football career as a standout at the Michigan Agricultural College, also known as Michigan State, and was a member of MSU's inaugural Athletics Hall of Fame induction class in 1994. He later had a long and distinguished career as a coach and athletic director at Hampton Normal and Agricultural Institute, where his teams won 5 conference championships and 10 track and field titles. He also played a single professional football game, recovering a late fumble to seal a victory for the Canton Bulldogs, led by the legendary Jim Thorpe. He's represented today by his grandson, John Belcher. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame inductee Gideon Smith.
So first off, congratulations to all of the honorees. It's very, very inspiring reading your bios and hearing your personal stories. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone in this room. Thank you for all of the positive energy and for the very palpable warmth and support that you all exhibit and exude. So it's been a very moving introduction for me to Ferris State. I don't have a direct personal history or experience, so that's why I feel moved to say thank you, and I'm going to begin by saying, go Dogs. Well, thank you. Thank you to the Bulldog Athletics Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this honor, and to Steve Brokelbank, Athletic Director, and Perk Weisenberger, Athletics Director Emeritus, for personally reaching out to me to involve me in this momentous event. Thank you to Dr. David Pilgrim and Franklin Hughes from the Diversity and Inclusion Office, who contacted me back in 2017, and over a period of months provided me with information and stories about my grandfather's deep, powerful Ferris State history and connections, as well as other historical information and artifacts about which I had been unaware up until that time. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to Tom Shanahan, author, so as I understand it, a Big Rapids native, author of Ray of Light, which includes a chapter on my grandfather, and author as well of a number of moving tributes to my grandfather that have appeared in various Michigan publications over the years. As I stand here, I reflect upon the first time I accepted an award on my grandfather's behalf as a 13-year-old, pushing 70 now. I recall expecting and intending to walk on the stage, receive the award, say a simple thank you, and walk off. I recall my dad insisting that on an occasion of that sort, I needed to express more than a simple thank you. I needed to communicate a message about my grandfather. I think and feel of this Ferris Hall of Fame occasion in a strong feeling, inclination, urge that I need to say more than thank you. Further, I feel that I need to say more than what a wonderful person my grandfather was. I feel a responsibility to speak on his behalf and say something that the times would not have allowed him to say. My grandfather, Gideon E. Smith, was and remains the gentlest person I have known my entire life. As I learned more of the indignities he faced and overcame with grace and dignity, I wondered how he could emerge from those experiences with his humanity intact, much less be the type of gentle person I knew him to be. As I contemplated and imagined his experiences I heard about of his time after leaving Ferris, such as not being able to eat where his Michigan State teammates ate, and not being able to stay where they stayed, and having to face with restraint the names that he was called on the field by opposing teams, I felt visceral reactions, including tears and rage. Again, I wondered and marveled that my grandfather could emerge from those experiences and be so gentle. I wondered about processing all of the family stories I grew up with, stories of facing indignities due to race that persisted across generations. I wondered about processing my own experiences of dealing with the indignities I experienced as a quote-unquote race pioneer in various circumstances and settings. I reflected upon the ebb and flow efforts to tell a more complete American story and how the voices get muted with characterizations and or charges of political correctness or rewriting history or wokeness or CRT, of how these efforts predictably trigger mobilizations to take our country back and make it great again. And I felt and feel visceral reactions, including rage. And I worried about emerging with my humanity, my capacity for gentleness, for belief in my fellow Americans, for belief in the moral arc of the universe intact. I've been imagining moments such as this particular right here, right now, for years, and have gone through multiple iterations of what to say and of what to not say. In the past year, I had an epiphany. I realized that the rage that I felt and feel is an important aspect of my humanity. I think and feel of the ways in which my grandfather's ability to express the full range of his humanity was probably compromised, including the muted ability to express the human emotion of rage, which I am sure he felt. Thank you for indulging me in not only accepting this Hall of Fame honor on my grandfather's behalf, but helping to reclaim and hopefully celebrate a fuller picture of his humanity. Thank you.
Our next inductee, last but certainly not least, is Jason Vanderlaan. A four-year starter and two-time team captain, he had a historic collegiate gridiron career at Ferris State and reached the National Football League. He ranked as the school's all-time rushing and scoring leader and broke the school record for most career touchdowns with 81. At the conclusion of his collegiate career, he was number 1 all-time in career rushing by a quarterback at any level of college football and number 2 for career rushing touchdowns at any level. He became the first quarterback in NCAA history, regardless of level, to compile 1,000-plus receiving and passing yards for 4 consecutive years. He was a 2-time Harlan Hill Trophy winner as the NCAA Division II Player of the Year and was also the 2014 and 2015 Division II National Scholar Athlete of the Year as the country's top male student athlete for all sports. Additionally, he was honored as a Campbell Trophy Academic Heisman finalist for all levels and was a 2-time All-American. Inducted as a member of the class of 2023, Hall of Fame honoree Jason Vanderlaan.
Thank you to everyone who came out here. I really appreciate all the support and just be able to put myself around some of these other legends around here, guys. It's awesome to be able to celebrate this together and to see the fun that other people had and to think about the experience I had here and how it went like that for everybody else, decade over decade. I will say that this award hits me a little bit differently now that I've had some time to reflect on my past and the success that I've had. When I was playing here in 2014 and 15, I was able to receive some awards, but it was kind of always just like, what's next, what's next? And you never really had time to soak it in. It's really hitting me differently. The Lord's blessed me with many opportunities, and while I received many awards, my mindset was always what's next, as I said. I never truly had time to soak in how honored I was to receive the award. To say that I'm proud to have this named, has my name cemented in the Ferris Hall of Fame with these other legends, would be an understatement. I cannot wait to keep coming back here for the rest of my life and to show my kids and to show their kids that their dad made it in the Hall of Fame at Ferris State University. That's a big deal. Ferris is one of the most unique places I've ever been around because even though we may not have an abundance of resources like other programs in the state, no athlete has ever let that hold us back. In my opinion, it was one of the most unique characteristics about our programs because it drove us to be closer as a team and it helped us build grit. It also made our team become closer as brothers and closer as a family, and it built a tight bond across all sports at the university. We were able to grow close with the basketball team, the volleyball team, the hockey team, everybody here at Ferris State. There's a unique and close connection that you don't get at other places. I'm incredibly proud to say I will forever be a Bulldog. To this day, I have never met a single person, and this is true, who went to Ferris State and didn't love it. I wear my Bulldog gear all the time, whether I'm in Chicago, wherever else I was traveling, when I was living in all those different states. And every single person that comes up to me said, man, I love Ferris State. I went there from this time to this time. I had a great time there. I've never met one person who didn't love it at Ferris State. The 4.5 years that I spent here will forever be some of the most memorable and impactful years of my life. I want to thank Rob. I want to thank Sandy and Perk. You guys made my time here greater than anything I could have ever imagined. Everything I could have asked for in college was met and exceeded here. I want to thank my wife, Nicole, who I met here at Ferris, and she's ventured with me across the United States at a day's notice multiple times and driven my car 13 plus hours all across the United States when I was cut and re-signed by different teams. She's been my #1 support, and I appreciate that. I want to thank my parents. They've been my #1 support system since I started playing football in elementary school. And for me, it didn't matter if I was playing in front of 80 people or 80,000. All that mattered was those two. And I could not be here today without you guys, and I appreciate everything you guys have done. Thank you to Coach Anise for your belief in me and your drive to turn around this program. Without you, my hairline would not have receded as quickly, but I also would have never turned into the quarterback that I was today. And our program would not be where it was at today, and I would have had no chance to win those 2 Harlan Hill trophies. And for those who don't know, I mean, before Tony Anise got here, the decade before us, I don't know if we had anybody make it to the NFL. And since he's gotten here, I think we're at 13 at this point who have had opportunities to play at the next level. So it was unbelievable to be here when his staff got here and to change around that program. Thank you to Steve, Brocklebank, and President Pink. I've been able to talk with them in the past coming years, with them coming here, and the excitement that they have for Ferris State and for Ferris State's athletics is like nothing I've ever seen before. The mission and drive that you guys are bringing to this campus is awesome. Ferris has an incredibly bright future because of the leadership that you guys bring, and I'm excited to be part of it as a fan and a supporter. To you guys in the room, whether you are still a strong supporter, I know all of us that have played here still love it, or if you've just been around campus, if you haven't been around campus for a while, now's the time to jump on board because these two guys are going to take this place to the next level across all athletic programs. So I want to be a Bulldog. I will be a Bulldog to the day that I die, and it's just fun to be around other people that have had this fun and this excitement, this energy, and I just can't wait to see where the future has at Ferris State. Go Dogs.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an outstanding night here tonight. Let's give one more big round of applause for our inductees. We do want to remind those Hall of Fame members that are going to be here for the football game tomorrow night to meet at the Victory Bell with about 5 minutes left in the second quarter to be honored at halftime. And with that, a reminder that the football game tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, so Coach Denise has got to get home and get some sleep. So thank you all for attending and have a great night.